Oh boy, man.
Oh, baby. You guys, what is this, James? 182? Are you talking or are you lip syncing? Oh, your mic's not working. You're faking it, dude. You're not a good faker. You're over fucking facially enunciating, dude. He's going,
I'm that good. You're just jealous.
I'm not jealous, man. If
It's
anything,
okay
I'm
to be jealous
of Elise.
sometimes.
I'm jealous of Elise because
she got to be on the podcast.
She got to be on the podcast, and I've never been able to be a guest on this podcast. Only a host. Who makes the clown laugh, man?
You know what I mean? What do you get the man who is everything?
Elise could. You get him nothing but love.
Yeah, no, this was a great episode. Elyse Willems of Funhouse fame, the wonderful Elise.
Of Funhouse fame.
Yeah, you guys know Elise, right? Of Funhouse fame.
Of Funhouse fame.
She's a great guest. We love Elise so much. She's always just like a positive presence, you know, like you just can get into conversations and have tons of things to say and just like, it's just great. She's great people, you know?
And in a weird world like this, man, with COVID, it's just so nice to be able to touch base. We haven't touched base with Elise in far too long.
Yeah.
So it was great to catch up. And, you know, before the pod, we talked to James, too, James Willems, and we're going to get him on here, too, sometime. And it's just great, man. It's great to catch up with an old friend, you know what I mean? Talked about some SP7 stuff, what it was like. Got some callers in. You guys phoned in. Again, if you guys want to phone in for next week, we'll let you know who the guest is if there's a guest. You can follow us on our social medias. Also, go stream my song. It's out.
Yeah, go stream Kib's song, man, because it's an amazing fucking song, and I'm so proud of you for it. And I'm just stoked for all the future things that are going to be coming out. But if you want to send us an audio message, go ahead and send that to beyondthepinemail@gmail.com, and we will get it. And that's a fact. And without further ado,
you can send one without knowing that there's a guest.
And without further ado,
this fucking show's about to start. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Action.
And
cut.
Hold.
Go on set.
Reset.
Oh, reset. 5.
Let's reset.
4.
Back to 1.
Back to 1.
Could we keep quiet on set, please?
God, yes.
All right. Are we rolling? Sound speeds?
Speeding.
All right.
Racing.
Action.
Sweet.
Cut. That was it.
We got it.
We got the shot.
182.
Yeah, baby, 182.
We have a special guest today. The great, the wild, the absolutely necessary,
the controversial,
the almighty, the powerful,
the one above all,
the who shall not be named.
Stank Granddaddy Nasty.
Elyse Willems.
Hey, everybody.
And Frozen.
Thank you. Oh, am I?
No, you're good. You're good.
You're good, Elise. You're good.
Okay.
Here you go.
So
No problems.
You know, I feel like I have all these accolades, which you just mentioned, but good internet is not one of them.
Yeah, I'm curious.
What do you have? What do you guys have for internet over there, Elise? And first and foremost, I'd just like to say I love hanging with good people like Elise. I'm going to include James Willems in there because you guys are just good people, good vibes, good energy, and we're here. And I love that.
I love you guys, and I've missed having you. I mean, I've missed everybody at Funhouse being in the office, but I've also missed having you all, you know.
Yeah, I imagine you miss us like a little bit because we were wild and crazy. We've grown since.
We've grown a lot.
I liked it.
For real. Like,
and
looking
it was
back
always...
Go ahead.
No, please. Looking back on
looking
times.
back, it was just like, you know, recently I've watched a few of our videos from in the Culver office and stuff. And I'm just like, wow. First of all, I feel like I was, for some reason, probably channeling all the stress and things of like life in the channel into like kind of being a douchebag in the videos, I realized. And I mean, that's pretty realistic.
Yeah, that's realistic.
Of me.
I get
For
it.
me,
You know what I mean?
if I'm being candid, I thought when you guys were coming into the office, which I knew you before you came to work in our office and enjoyed you all. And I thought, oh man, they're going to bring a ton of hyper energy and it's going to be crazy and it's going to be, you know, I did have that preconception of like, oh, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
Wasn't that way at all. At no point did I feel like you guys were rude in any, or like you were encroaching on other people or making it a bad work. Like I thought you brought a really happy and fun work environment. Sometimes I feel like I would just go into your office
to hang out.
You just come in and be like,
hey
guys, make me laugh or something.
Absorb.
Yeah.
Steve, do the pooping your pants thing you do.
Come on,
Perfect.
Steve, shit your pants.
Anytime you guys popped in to record something, it was fun. And anytime you asked us to do anything, it was always a blast. So I really liked having you there. And I also like came away with some really great parting gifts.
Right. Richard
Wow.
Iowati.
Wow.
I mean, that's crazy. It makes
This
me
is
think
awkward.
like, well, wasn't mine. It was Steve's.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
You thought that was mine?
Ah, this is a good bit. We talked about this
Damn
before
it.
the pod.
Oh, really? That's so
Yeah,
funny.
you-
No, that's not mine.
Damn it. Some context here in our pre-setup. I
Hilarious.
explained
Hilarious.
to Kib while James was in the bathroom that I have a copy of Richard Iowati's book that I had taken from the Sugar Pine office.
Yeah, that would have been really funny
Yeah,
if
James
you
would've
did your
gotten so
homework.
mad.
If you did
The
your homework,
energy.
that would have been really funny. Like on my end, doesn't make a difference, but on your guys' end,
Yeah,
like,
we didn't
just
really.
next time, like better research. I
We're the
think-
cinema guy.
I thought you were the cinema guy.
You're
Me?
the cinema guy.
I am.
Yeah.
I went to school for it, and I graduated with a degree.
Magnum
Well, why don't
cum,
you have the book?
Cum cum.
I have other books. I have so many other books. Any book you can think of, I have.
Richard Iowati's book.
It was stolen from me.
By Elise.
No, genuinely though,
I-
that's Steve's book, and
I feel bad
it makes me
taking
think
it,
like what
but-
else he left at the office because we already know
he
some of
left
the
everything.
things. So many things, man.
He left his
so
Switch, dude.
many
He-
things.
And he had.
Did he?
It's not like he was like had anywhere to go with urgency. It was just he just didn't feel like going to get his shit. You guys should have just done like what's that? That's fucking sale they do when people die.
An estate sale.
Oh,
An estate sale for Steve's
Yeah.
shit in the office. Chick might have
Just
an
some-
estate sale.
Enough time had passed that I thought no one's coming back for this.
And you're right to think that.
Oh,
And I love
100%.
books. You know, I wanted to give this book a home. Otherwise, I saw it being trashed because who else at Funhouse reads?
Seriously,
No
I
one.
they
don't-
can't.
I don't know many people who can. Honestly.
Yeah, it's
So I
tough.
took it, but now I'm going to have Steve not darkening my doorstep.
That's right.
Well,
He's
Steve
gonna knock on your
won't
doorstep
care.
for it. No, he's over it. You know what I mean?
Um,
he was pissed for a while, but he's over it.
Yeah, he talked to us about it. Like he was like, "Where's my book? Where's my book? This is my favorite
And I was
book."
like,
Like,
I don't fucking know.
and we were like, "We don't know, man. It could be anywhere." And then he was thinking like, "I wonder if somebody from Funhouse took it."
But you
and
know what?
then- Now we
That's it.
know, and I'm going to tell him. And
He's
so
gonna tell him. He's
we
gonna
have to
tell
deal
him.
with that.
But to touch on our fucking wild energy at the office, what's interesting is I guess I for a long time thought we were chaotic with everyone, but now that I think about it, we weren't too chaotic outside of our own little bubble of recording and in our room and the people involved in Sugar Pine. And then when people were in the show, you know what I mean, or whatever,
Right.
like bringing people in, we were chaotic. But that's true. We
Yeah.
weren't like just constantly running all over the place, like
No.
on a sugar high. You know what I mean?
Pixie sticks.
But sometimes we were on a sugar high. One time, Kib and I
because of the
got
free
a.
candy.
Remember that one time, Kib? We got like some strawberry drink from Starbucks.
Yeah, the strawberry
And-
magic, which is the
Dude,
sauce, yeah.
and we were like, whoa, 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 whoa. And we were like driving back and we were laughing in a way where like you can't breathe and you're just like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the kid was driving while doing that. It was sick.
Yeah, good time. You got to try that. You got. It's
Well,
called the strawberry something at Starbucks, at least. And if you haven't had it, it'll make you go crazy.
I
So
will.
much sugar.
And I've also seen the way you guys drive, where Kib steers, and then James, you work the pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't learned how to use the pedals, so usually when I
Too
have to go
short.
anywhere, I have James come with me, and you know
And
what I
sometimes
mean?
it's long drives too. Like, you know,
really long drives.
Kib just went on a cross country road trip.
Right.
No mask too, which is sick.
Why would I? Right.
And I
No
just
mas.
had to like kind of come along but it's tough when it's a small car because, you know, I have to sit kind of on the center console and use my left foot. And
Well,
the gearbox, the shifter has its way with me sometimes.
It does, yeah. And to go into neutral is a whole prostate movement that he's mastered.
I've
but it took a
mastered
long
by this
time.
point. For sure.
Yeah.
Dude, the second you
For a
said
while.
mastered, I was like, and I mastered it.
For a while, James would sit down on his tummy in the driver's seat with his legs back, so that would be actually my backrest, and I would sit on James's back, and he would use his feet.
Oh,
his
double
hands
dolphin.
to do the pedals.
Yeah.
I would just sit up there. I'm too short to reach, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and while Beethoven's prostate movement plays on the radio.
Mm-hmm. The sixth,
Yeah.
the sixth movement.
Yeah.
Elise,
No.
what have you been up
I
to
loved
during
having-
this time?
Oh, can I just say one thing?
You may, of
And
course.
No.
I love having you guys there, and my favorite gaffe that you ever did was putting that bathroom sign on your door. Because
Oh,
yeah.
all those
There's no way
stuffy
you like
suits,
that. There's
all
no
those
way.
stuffy suits that would come in and open. I think I observed it once, and it cracked me up. I thought it
It
was
would happen
beautiful.
almost every day, or at least every single time there was someone who
Yeah.
was just there working on something else. The Hot Wheels team, the full screen team,
The fucking
any
Hot
fucking
Wheels
suit.
team. Yeah,
Dude.
there's a Hot Wheels team.
Yeah, there's a team for Hot Wheels, and dude, they would just walk in with the most urgency of all time, and then
Like they've been on a shoot. They've been shooting for 4 hours straight. Haven't been able to go to the bathroom. The first
Take
time
five.
they're taking a take 5. Okay, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I think it's just right outside the door. They come in. They open it. Just an entire crew doing other things, and they're like, "Oh, is this the bathroom?" Like, no, come on in.
It's such a funny, innocent joke. Like there are no victims in it. That's what I love about it.
yeah,
You know,
Well,
And-
there are some victims.
the carpet.
The carpet.
garbage is a big dope.
You know, if you're
Garbage is a
coming
big
in
dope
there,
for
you're
sure.
coming in hot. You don't have that time to pivot.
Exactly. Coming
Man,
in, your
they'd be
pants
so
are already
confused.
undone. Like you're ready to go.
Yeah,
And we
you just
felt guilty about it, but
I
really
can't.
didn't. I didn't feel
someone
good
made us
about
take
imagine-
the
it.
sign off. Someone made us take that fucking sign off. I don't remember
Did
who.
they? What a chump.
But I don't remember
a
who it was,
suit.
but yeah, it was some suit for sure.
Man, I can't even think. I can't even recall how many times you guys would come burning into the parking lot, scourge after a long cross country road trip, double dolphining.
Oh yeah.
James's ankles are at Kib's shoulders. You know, the blood is rushed to his head. He's feeling a little lightheaded.
I'm feeling a little
You
woozy.
got to drain the vein. You're looking for the bathroom. There's no time. Getting a little confused.
Yeah.
It happens.
It
It
just
happens.
happens. You know what I mean? And God, you know what? I loved that bathroom. They had such
I-
great bathrooms.
I love that for you.
You know what I mean? And like it was one of those perfect bathrooms where some bathrooms, some public bathrooms, you go in and you go to make a poop and you're very self-conscious. Not in this bathroom. Didn't matter who was pooping. You go in, you make a fucking I'm here noise. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was like that in the ladies' bathroom, but in the gentleman's room, we were not gentlemen.
We were
No.
friendlemans.
We were friends.
We were
with benefits.
frenemies.
Yeah.
We were friends with benefits in the bathroom. We had this whole thing going
Always.
on. This whole thing where we
What
would
if-
just shut the light off. If it was a full house, we would go in, we'd shut the light off, and then
Don't
we
light a
would just
match.
say friends with benefits, and then it was
Yeah.
just like a free for all.
Light a
Socks on
match,
the door.
dude,
Socks
lit up
on the
the whole
doorknob.
room.
What have I been up to, you ask?
Yes. What have you been up to, Elise?
Keeping Funhouse going. We're still trying to make content, and despite quarantine and COVID, keep that going and find innovative ways to make that happen. Me personally, 2020 wasn't. I have to say, like, there were down points, but not as bad as a lot of other people went through.
Yeah.
So I have to be grateful. I self-published a children's book I'd been working on for several years.
That's so
children's
Congrats.
novels.
cool.
Thanks.
I had
don't-
that written down as something I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, really?
Yeah. James
That's
loves
so
children's
sweet.
I'm something of a child myself.
I have minds of a child. So
I have a third grade reading level, so it was a little rough of a read for me. It was a little
struggle.
dense.
It was tough. Yeah. Highbrow stuff.
But I had Lauren read it to me, and she kind of explained the subtext and everything.
It took about 6 months. You got through about a page a night.
I was just, it's enough of the reading.
My brain hurts.
Dude, just reading one
Shut
page.
up.
You finish the page. Fuck, I gotta lay down.
Oh God. So Elise, I'm so curious because I haven't really talked to anybody who's like regularly making YouTube content during quarantine.
Let's finish
I'm
talking about the
curious-
book.
Okay, well it started with the quarantine.
mayhabs.
We'll get to the book, but I want to ask about the YouTube stuff because my instinct makes me feel as though there's more people watching. Everyone's got more time to watch. So strictly on that side, I'm curious if like you've noticed an increase in viewership during quarantine, and if not, why?
No, actually, it's the opposite. 'Cause
Wow,
I think
that's so
I think
weird.
People, I think, well, we've had some changes at Funhouse. We had like cast changes over the last year, so that I think has caused a dip in views. But also, I think people are just fatigued on watching a bunch of people in a 4-grid box or whatever making content together. I know I am. Like, I applaud them for doing it, but when I paid $5 to watch Ratatouille the musical, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, you
know?
realize something has changed about the world and you didn't like it.
No. And when Wayne Brady painted those whiskers on his face, I don't know how much you guys followed the Ratatouille musical.
I haven't, but God, I didn't, and I want to watch it. I didn't even realize it existed, and I love Ratatouille.
You won't anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I really thought that it was a fun thing that they were doing, but it was at the point where I thought, man, it came out in December, I think, and I said, I'm kind of, or January, and I was kind of fatigued on this kind of content.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are in that same boat. You know, we want the Bridgertons, we want the WandaVisions.
Yeah.
We're burnt out on this kind of stuff. How are you guys feeling that fatigue too?
Yeah, I'm feeling an overall like fatigue on like day to day for sure, of just like the rut and the routine, you know. And you try to do things to change it up, but at the end of the day, like for me, like, you know, I wake up, take Vinny to the park, I come back, I'm at my computer, I'm working on something, or I'm like watching fucking videos, or I'm playing a game, and then 6 o'clock we make dinner, and then we watch a show. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people are in like that rut, you know, where it's just like now you have the hyper awareness of like your daily routine, and it's just, it gets old. Sorry to interrupt there, Kib, but we have a sponsor, and that's HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. HelloFresh lets you skip those trips to the grocery store and makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable, which is why it's America's #1 meal kit. You guys know that we love HelloFresh here at Beyond the Pine. Some of my favorite recipes, and I think I've mentioned them before, is the creamy, dreamy mushroom pasta, which is just a delicious pasta dish consisting of cream and mushrooms. And my other favorite is the black bean enchilada, both vegetarian options to keep you nice and healthy. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and grocery store trips so you can enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in about 30 minutes or less. HelloFresh offers 10 to 20-minute meals, low prep recipes, and quick breakfasts and lunches, perfect for your busy schedule. Get better value. HelloFresh is 28% cheaper than shopping at your local grocery store and 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal without sacrificing the quality. Truly, if there's one thing I can say, is that all of the ingredients that I've ever experienced with the different recipes with HelloFresh have always been very fresh and delicious, you know, and that's the most important part of a meal, obviously, is what you put in it. I couldn't recommend HelloFresh enough. Like I said, my favorite recipes are the creamy, dreamy mushroom pasta and the black bean enchiladas. So if you guys are trying to eat healthy, or if you're vegetarian, I highly recommend those. They have a vegetarian box, which I've ordered several times now, and I've never been disappointed. I've tried new recipes that I maybe didn't think I was going to like, and then ended up it just being delicious, nutritional, and just a great time. So right now you can go to HelloFresh.com/12pine and use code 12pine for 12 free meals, including free shipping. That's 2 more meals than last time. 12 free meals and free shipping if you go to HelloFresh.com/12pine. That's amazing. Thank you so much, HelloFresh, for sponsoring this episode of Beyond the Pine.
How's Vinny doing on an uplifting note?
Vinny's great. Vinny hasn't noticed a damn difference. He's a dumbass dog.
He's dumb as shit, yeah.
Is
he? He's not dumb. He's actually very smart, but he's very emotionally manipulative.
Yes,
that's for sure.
He makes James do some fucked up things, man.
No, he doesn't. No, Vinny's great, dude. Vinny's a fucking sweet angel baby love dog. He's just made out of pure love, and he bursts into fucking gumdrops.
He really is, dude. He's just happy to be alive. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Like, there's
he's loved having us at home like every day now.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he's just sick of you guys. God.
Dude, he definitely gets
here.
bored.
Really?
Like, yeah, for sure. Because, like, you know, I take him to the park in the morning, come back, he'll fall asleep for a few hours, and then in the like mid-afternoon, like 2 to 4, he starts to get like, okay, when are you guys gonna take me on another walk? I'm bored.
Dude, he's spoiled now.
He's spoiled,
boy.
and he'll be like sitting on his spot on the couch, like he sits on top of one of the cushions right next to the window, so he can like rest his head on the windowsill and look out too. And so he'll just be like sitting there, and he'll be like this.
It's about time. It's about that time.
He's like,
Side-eyeing you
do you
and
guys
shit.
remember? Do you guys
voice?
remember me?
Is that the voice that you and Lauren do when you talk when you do Vinny?
Yes, that's his voice.
James and I have a voice for Benson.
Oh, for sure.
our
Yeah,
dog
yeah.
that
We
do.
only talk as Vinny in his voice.
Right.
And it's hilarious, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, you have
Do you
to have...
talk to Lauren like that? Do you have a voice for Lauren? Does Lauren have a voice for you? You never talk to Lauren.
Yeah, she has a
Lauren.
a caged ogre kind of voice for Lauren.
Yeah. How's Benson?
He's good. I mean, he's getting up there. He's
Yeah,
getting
how old is he
older.
now?
He's 12.
Wow, what a good boy.
And
Wow.
He has a few health things like his heart and thyroid and stuff, which we've been medicating for years. So he's always been a slow paced dog, if you recall, but
Yeah.
he's definitely slowed down. His hearing isn't what it used to be, though James thinks it's just because he wants to ignore us.
That's
my husband
possible.
James, for no one that knows, he thinks he's like, oh, Benson just doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's like living the good life.
Honestly.
I
He's
like
gonna
that. I like
he-
that a lot.
He doesn't respond to Benson. But James said that he was walking him the other night and he sneezed, like James sneezed, and Benson turned around.
Oh, shit.
And then
dude.
and James was like, "You son of a bitch! You can hear us this
he's
whole
like-
time."
he's like,
And then he just
this
goes,
fucker can hear.
"Oh, what?
Yeah.
What is going on?"
What is this day all happening for?
But the voice we do for him, I start and finish every sentence with the word mom. So he's like, Mom, I need to go for my walk now, Mom.
I
Mom,
love that. That's
Mom, you
so
promised me
cute.
chicken for dinner, Mom.
Mom,
he's
there's some
so
shit.
young.
There's some shit of mine. You need to pick it up.
Yeah.
Mom. He's so young and sharp, and he's just slow.
I
Just so
often wonder
slow.
what he thinks about like me picking up his shit. Whether he thinks he's like, oh, she really is into this. Like she wants
Yeah.
this.
Or he thinks you're super weird for it. Like, ugh, leave it.
Just leave it.
Leave it.
Just leave it.
Yeah.
Yo, come on. Just no. You don't have to pick it up. It's fine. Just leave
Every
it.
shit, huh?
Every shit. You need to pick up every shit. What's the matter with you?
You fucking freak humans, man.
God,
Dogs
what is
talk
it with
about that
you
all the time.
humans and dog shit? You guys just have to hold it and squish it
love it.
around.
God, you fucking freaks as they're licking their fucking asshole. Oh, you guys are gross.
Come here, let me lick your mouth.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing to think about. I often think like, well, because I don't know if this is all dogs or golden retrievers. They have the brain of like a 2-year-old child, basically,
Yes.
is like the equivalent. Is that all dogs?
love that.
Or like most dogs?
No.
'Cause some dogs are smarter,
No.
some dogs are dumber.
Yeah.
It's
Some
usually breed by breed, right?
but don't most hover around like toddler intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is super fucking sweet and cute to think about. That like Vinny, for just his whole life, he'll just be like a 2-year-old, like mind.
Yeah.
Like a little
And then when they
goofball.
become old, they're just slow
Old
2-year-olds.
2-year-olds.
Yeah.
like Benjamin
They're
Button.
Benjamin Buttons.
Yes.
yeah. Exactly.
Straight up. And
Dude,
they're
I try
like
to bring up
slow
Benjamin.
and like kind of like gray hair and stuff, but then
Yeah.
they're still like, take me to the park now.
They're still looking for love.
So funny. Just
Oh,
I go take a shit in the backyard.
Man, Kate Blanchett really loved him in that movie, huh?
I don't think I've ever actually seen Benjamin Button.
Damn.
I don't know if I have either. I need to look it up. What the
Wow.
fuck?
I saw it once and I don't know if it's a good movie, but I do remember at the time there's a point. Sorry to spoil it, James, but there's a point where
Wow, where he gets younger.
Whoa.
Spoiler alert.
Take me to the park. Where their lives sync up and they're basically the same age.
Wow.
So like she's aging, he's de-aging, and it's like this beautiful point, romantic point in their lives.
And they just go nuts on
Where
each
they
other.
get to they nut on each other so much. It's just this pure nut love. And it's actually for me that doesn't find too much romantic. I was like, damn, that's really fucking romantic. But then, you know, when you see him when she's old and he's like an old baby and she's walking him down the street, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, it's
No,
weird.
thank you.
Yeah, it's weird.
I just looked up the picture and like immediately I went,
Have
What's
you seen
this
it,
about?
Kib?
No, I haven't seen it. But I saw Benjamin, and yeah, he's button all right. Benjamin's nuttin disease, I think, is what he has.
No, it's button disease.
Right.
Not nuttin.
Right. Nothing wrong.
He
with
just
that,
grows spontaneous like buttons on him. Oh,
skin buttons, dude. Skin
fuck,
buttons.
dude.
Yuck.
I want to go back to your book though.
Yeah,
and I want to hear all
more
about it. So give us the whole.
stupid.
No, it's not stupid.
It's not stupid.
It's so cool. It's
I
genuinely
want a
so
signed
cool.
copy.
I want
Hello.
I want the abridged version.
Oh, because it's not that long, James. It's only like 100 pages. It's for kids.
Wait, what does
What age
abridged
is it?
mean? Again?
And
I
what is
believe-
it rated for?
I know, but for
ages-wise?
Kib, just explain what the word abridged means.
I've crossed many bridges, man. What is the book?
A
rated
bridge?
for?
I believe that abridged is when it's truncated in some way.
Okay, now
So
we're
it's
going
not
on. We're going on to
full.
other
Now we're
words
going-
here.
We're going
It's
on
director's. It's the director's cut, or
Cool.
it's maybe
Director's
not
cut,
director's. It's the
commentary.
made for TV. It's a TV edit maybe.
Okay.
I love it.
It's been edited for time.
Nice.
Maybe I don't know.
Gotcha.
I don't actually. I'm not a real
what are the
author.
ages? What's it rated for?
I thought it was for like ages 8 to 13ish.
Right.
But then it's called A Night in Halloween House, so it airs towards sort of the spookier stuff. And I have had some people come to me and say, I was reading it to my kids and they got scared.
That's
Wow.
And I was like,
cool.
well, your
let's
kids
go.
are pussies.
Fucking
So I'm just
pussies,
kidding.
man.
Yeah.
I'm
you
just
fucking
kidding.
Loser kids, man. Kids
I'm
are
just
so
kidding.
Dude, they're gonna take that clip out of context and just ruin you as a
I know.
children's author.
I know.
Where can people get the book, Elise?
It's on Amazon.
Let's go.
And I did want to. I self-published it, and I did want to have it available in different places. But honestly, that was the easiest way to do it. As somebody
Yeah.
that was like, man, I already feel really over my head self-publishing it. But this system on Amazon does seem really simple.
And anyone can get it. You know what I mean? Like, there's almost. It's not that there's no point of having it in stores and stuff like that, but it doesn't necessarily benefit you in a way that it's easier to get by any means. It's actually more difficult than just sitting at
Yeah.
home and going on Amazon. It's just as available to anyone. You know, it's almost like a vanity thing, which is amazing, and it's a milestone to get in stores, which is like dope. But you know,
Oh, man, I would
anyone
love
can
to.
get it.
I could also track it and see where people were buying it in the world. And
That's
I was like, damn,
cool.
like somebody's buying it in Brazil and Germany and India.
Wow, so many
Wow.
people in
It's kinda
Brazil.
cool.
There's like millions of copies alone in Brazil.
Yeah,
Millions
What is
sold.
going on?
they're buying it and reselling it for twice as much.
I will say I'm proud of myself, but it's hard to have a real sense of accomplishment when you do self-publish because you're like, I don't really know if it's good. Like it hasn't gone through a system where
That's-
Well, there's
someone
still like
says,
I
there's
get
still
that.
like reception from people that are actually like reading
and people
it.
have been kind about it and positive with their feedback, which I appreciate. But it's still like I'll never know, had this gone to a publisher, would they have been like, this is trash?
Right. Yeah. I see what you mean. And also, when you already have a fan base that's going to support you, like no matter how good something is, it could be objectively dog shit, and they're like, "This is the greatest thing in the world."
Yeah.
Man. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's not. It's great that there's an audience that will love something, but it's like you want kind of like an outsider opinion or reach someone who's just a reader who doesn't know who you are, and they read the book and go, "This is a fantastic book," and like just reach past your current audience with certain things to get that reception.
Absolutely. And I have had people support me that know me through Funhouse who are amazing. But I've had some instances where, whether through a review or someone I know got it for maybe like a niece or nephew, and they liked it, and it wasn't based on
Yeah.
knowing Funhouse, and that to me was meant a lot because my hope with it was like this isn't going to sell a ton of copies or turn any needles, but it came from a place of something that meant something to me, and if like some kid in the Midwest just happens upon it and then reads it and enjoys it, that's really awesome.
That's amazing.
And really, really
Yeah.
cool.
Give yourself some credit. Like
Yeah.
I literally think that's fucking so cool
It's
that
so
you
fucking cool.
Thanks.
wrote and self-published a book. Like I have wanted to, like I write stuff, but I'm always like I have the hardest time finishing shit, and like sometimes like with projects, like seeing kind of like the big picture with things that I'm working on, especially if like it's just me that's like motivating myself to like start something and then finish it, you know what I mean? And so like the fact that you did that and it's out there, like I have the most respect for that. It's fucking amazing.
Totally.
Thank you. That's super.
And one day when I learn how to read, I'm gonna read it.
He's gonna read the fuck out of it.
Fuck.
The Lauren thing was a lie.
The Lauren thing was a lie. Lauren can't read either.
She can't read.
Honestly, I'm not just like blowing smoke, but if you guys were like, "Hey, we want to write a comedic essay book or something," even something like this, which it's funny because as I was reading this, I was like, it makes sense that I pulled this from the Sugar Pine office because it's very in the Sugar Pine sensibility of like non sequitur humor, but that still feels like it has a through line and
Right.
a purpose.
Yeah.
And I could totally see you guys writing something like that.
We fucking
One
100%,
day,
dude.
honestly,
should.
like, I think it would be really cool too, like, because obviously I want to write for film and TV and stuff, but I've thought about, like, there's this script that I've been working on since the summer, here and there, like on and off, depending on like what other projects I'm working on and shit, but I kind of want to just like fucking write this as like,
It's like prose,
what does that mean?
like book like prose you would see in a book.
Yeah, like just write it. Like
Yeah.
not like script format, like literally just write it and then see what happens after that. And I feel like that's kind of freeing too, because like the only experience I have with writing is just writing scripts and stuff.
Right.
And like, so I feel like sometimes when you have to stick to like a very kind of rigid format like screenplay writing, like it's limiting and it can put you in a box.
Yeah, or you might write predictably and stuff like that because
Yeah.
you're in this totally linear thing. But if you create a story, it's just like there's no box. You're writing it,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
you could put it into script format afterwards.
Yeah,
I
and
think
then
a lot
I
of
don't,
people
I don't
do
have to
that,
think.
too.
I don't have to be like, okay, so I'm in the description and action
Yeah.
lines. Like I have to only write things that you can see on screen. I can't write what people are thinking. But like if I'm writing it in like a novel format, I can spend a fucking page talking
yeah.
about how this guy was thinking and feeling about this fucking dick he was jerking off.
That seems like a really good way to write a story, to come up with the
Yeah.
story, and a good format to get the script the best it could be, because that reminds me of music. When you write a song, sometimes you just sit down with a guitar and you write the song, but then that song can turn into a totally different thing once it's brought to a producer or just produced in general, and it becomes, it's the song, it's the story, but then it becomes the movie or the finished product
Yeah,
of the song.
when you write music,
You should
Kib,
definitely do that.
do you approach it from like, I have this story to tell with this song? Or is that sometimes what happens? Or
It's usually more so like a very in the moment thing where like you'll if you're writing by yourself, for me it's the same as when I'm writing with like Nick or something. We'll just sit down and we'll just start making music, whether it's piano or guitar or something like that, and then you're kind of humming melodies and you kind of stumble into a word or a line or something that ends up just being like vulnerable, and kind of you just let it kind of come out, and then you build off that. You're kind of like there's a big bucket of Lego in front of you. You're kind of building this thing and trying to find the right pieces and putting it together until, it kind of comes together itself. It's a really nice, like, kind of therapeutic thing to write for me.
is that how music is like for you too, James?
No, I definitely don't have like, especially for lyrics and stuff, I don't really have any sort of like process. I kind of like, I come at it more from like a production standpoint. Like that's where I have more experience just producing stuff and like playing around with things. And I haven't really been too like, purposeful, I guess, with like the music that I've been working on lately. I've kind of just been doing it like for fun. Nice vape. So it really just depends. Like I kind of like feel you, Kib, like it depends on like in the moment, in the mood, like something might come to you and it really fits. And like, especially like for me, like, if I'm working on a beat and stuff, and then as I'm like working on it, I'm coming up with like the rhythm or the flow or something like that they would go with it. It helps a lot versus like trying to come up with, at least from my perspective, like themes or things that you want to talk about or a story you want to talk about first, and then trying to fit that into like a rhythm. So like I do it more like the other way around. Like I have like a rhythm and a flow, and then I try to fit things into it. But
Yeah, everyone's process is different.
Yeah.
I find just what works for me is just kind of not forcing anything and just stumbling onto things and like letting yourself be vulnerable and like just be in it. And you kind of got to, if you're writing
Yeah.
with someone, you got to be very much on the same page, so you're not feeling like judged, or if someone doesn't like something, you don't feel self-conscious if they're like, no, you know what I mean? Because you could just pour your heart out and then be like, no. But if you're on the same page, it doesn't
No,
feel
no,
like
dude, that's
that was
stupid.
bad, you suck. It was just like that wasn't what the song was asking for.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. but
Finding
it's-
the heart.
Yeah. You just got to be fucking in it. Is that what it's like when you write? Like, when you wrote your book, did you have the story already in mind, or did you kind of find it as you were writing it?
So it took me like a few years to knock this out, mostly because there would be big chunks of time where I wasn't working on it,
Right.
or I can kind of get into the mindset where I think a lot of people think, okay, well, if I want to write, I have to be able to, clear my schedule and be in this zone and have everything just so. But
That's so
sometimes
much pressure.
It's so much pressure. And sometimes I've gotten to the mentality of like, if you sit down today for 10 minutes and you write one sentence and that's all you do, that's all you were able to do today mentally because you're working and you've got all this going on, like that's great. And that's one sentence more than you had yesterday.
100%.
Yeah.
And for the concept of this book is that a bunch of kids are playing baseball in the vacant lot next to this really scary house. And then lo and behold, of course, they hit the baseball and it goes into the yard of the house. Mm-hmm. And then when they go to retrieve it, they get scared. And then, it's on the precipice of Halloween night. So by a series of events, they end up back at the house on Halloween night.
I love that.
Thanks. I don't think it's a revolutionary story. I just kind of wanted to approach it as like something that felt very nostalgic to me growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in the 90s in a time where like we didn't have cell phones as kids, and you could go out with your friends and kind of didn't have helicopter parents texting you.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah. Explore the neighborhood and go on adventures and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of
Missed
content
that.
the movies that I liked as a kid too,
Yeah.
and books. And I lived in a neighborhood when I kind of was thinking about it originally, where there was this house and I would walk my dog by it all the time. And it was clearly a house that you could tell nobody lived in. It was in a really nice LA neighborhood, but it was a sore thumb. It had like broken down cars in the driveway. The roof was all like ramshackle. It was overgrown, all the weeds and stuff. And I would walk by and I would think to myself, like, God damn, if I was a kid and I would run by this house, I would be so scared to walk by this house. And then I just kept, thinking about this house. It's like the Edwards, this is dramatic, but it's like the Edward Scissorhands house in this really pretty neighborhood. But I'm fairly sure that someone just inherited this house and, they're sitting on it. Let it go to shit, yeah, and you would never see anybody coming in and out of this house. And I was like, I just kept thinking about, wow, when I was a kid, this would be, when the problems you have when you're a kid are just, they pale in comparison to the problems you have as an adult.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like your problem as a kid would be, I have to walk past this house. What am I going to do? And like, you think about that for like a day.
Yeah.
But I also can't look like a loser. So maybe I'll just walk a little bit faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's just kind of like where it ruminated and came from. And also I think something that I'm sure you guys do this too as creative people is you set out and you think like, I have to write the next revolutionary, never been done thing.
You want it to be important. You want to feel like you've created something that matters.
Yes, something new that's never been touched. And I was like, I'm just going to write something that I enjoy doing and makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to worry about like if it has any tropes or, cliches. Maybe even leaning into those will make it feel nostalgic if somebody's reading it to their, they're in their 30s and they're reading it to their 10-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'll be able to ever write another book, but it's like a cool thing to have done.
Dude, like that's 100% true though. Like I've experienced that time and time again. And that actually sometimes is what that's like the obstacle that prevents me from moving forward
crippling.
with a project is like, I have this, like, I'll just come up with like this idea. Right. And like from an angle that I feel like hasn't been done before. And I'm like, oh, like this is like this totally like this new thing. And then I start trying to develop it. And then I'm like, oh no, this is like either way too hard for like where I'm at.
It's too high concept.
Yeah, way too high concept. Like I had this idea for the first ever In a World. Let me paint the picture here. In a world. Aliens live on Earth amongst people and are integrated into society. It's the story of the first alien to ever win Best Actor at the Oscars.
Wow.
I love that. I love
And I'm just not
Why
at a
did you
place.
laugh, man?
Me?
Why'd you fucking laugh? That's a great idea.
I love that.
I know it's a great idea.
You laughed out of shame.
And then I remember I told Steve that idea, and in my head I was like, yeah, this could be like a cool like drama, like a crazy like story. And then he was like, oh, I love that's so funny. Is it going to be like a comedy? And I was like,
Yep.
yeah, it's going to be a comedy.
It's gonna be so funny, man. It's gonna be so funny.
But no,
can see
just
that
like
being, like, a
ideas
real
that, and
story.
you always want things to be like original and like never done before, but also
Yeah.
you got to kind of recognize like where you're at as a creator, whatever like realm it is, and being like, hey, maybe put this one on pause for later. Let me get some more experience doing these ones. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and
that's
also
totally
you got to
fine.
remember that like every story's for the most part there's been a version of it that's been told
100%.
or something
Yeah.
something
Yes.
similar, and where the creativeness comes in is who's telling that story.
It's your
and how
voice.
they're telling that story. Exactly, your voice. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why you could take a story that's just been told a million times and tell it in a way that's never been told, or just your voice resonating in a certain way. And that's why there's so many movies that are similar that you love this one, but this one was okay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Every
They
fucking
can't all
horror
be
movie
Benjamin
has all the same
Buttons.
tropes. Yeah, all those
you
Benjamin's
know?
buttons.
Can't all be
Like,
buttons.
Can't all be buttons. Sometimes they gotta be zipper jackets. You know what I mean? So like,
Sometimes
you just gotta believe in yourself, and like, kind of, for me with music, it's just like writing on feeling. I try not to overthink it. I try not to like wonder if story's been told or not, because when you write a lot about, you know, relationships or your views on the world or how you're feeling, like everyone's been through fucking everything, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of nuances that go into the picture you're painting that makes it different from someone else.
For
chances
sure.
are it's already in the Bible.
Exactly.
And the Bible is awesome. It's like I've never fully read the whole Bible, but I've heard it's a great read.
Yeah, it's pretty light. You can get through it in like
It's a bit
day.
heady though. It's a bit heady.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can do the New Testament in a year.
Wow.
It's nothing.
I respect people that even if they're not religious have read the whole Bible just to see what it's all about.
I don't think hardly anyone has ever read the entire Bible and understood more than 10% of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
And maybe what's his name? That British guy who's really intelligent. He's funny.
Gordon Ramsay?
Brant.
Who's
Richard
Brant?
Richard
Brant. He's like a philosophical guy. He talks like this. He's got long hair, right? Kind of looks like a rock star.
Noel Fielding.
Richard fucking... Is his name Richard? No, Russell Brand.
Branson?
Russell Brand.
Russell-
Richard, Russell Brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Russell Brand.
Dude, if he read it, he'd come
He's
away.
very philosophical.
Yeah.
He would think he knew exactly what it meant.
I think
I-
think it's just honestly like when I look at myself as a child, right, and I think about
It's like an
everything.
autobiography.
It's like an autobiography,
Right.
isn't
You're the Christ
it?
character.
And I'm the Messiah.
I
And
believe
I'm
that we're
back.
supposed to read it. We're supposed to read the Bible from a first-person point of view, right?
Right.
You are all of the characters, and it's these demons and battles you face within yourself. So you are on the cross, and you condemn yourself.
Honestly, that is actually true.
All
Yeah.
right, that was
Like-
too deep.
I mean, yeah, it could be.
That
was
honestly
fucking
is true, and I think that's an important way to look at the Bible.
Wow.
In a way like that, and that's
Thank you,
and
dude.
it says it in there too. So it's not really that.
Thank you,
It's
bro.
not really that smart that you thought of it.
Thank you, bro. Well, I haven't read it, so I mean, you know, it's kind
I'm
of
just making it up.
all up here.
When I was a
Just
kid,
writing.
I had an illustrated Bible, which isn't a Bible in the conventional sense. It just takes some of the most hardcore, coolest stories from the Bible
Yeah.
and then made wicked art for them.
Yeah, like David and Goliath.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, this is just
Noah's
shit.
fart.
Noah's farts that ended half the world. He had just the worst torrential diarrhea and it flooded the world. Fuck.
Elise, when you went to, did you go to school in Canada at all, like elementary
Yeah.
school or anything? So you
I
had
did.
to do like world religions, or did you do high school in Canada? That's where
In
you do
high
world
school,
religions,
I
right?
took a world religion class. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I took a world history class in high school.
Did you like value that, even just as far as like understanding the rest of the world's beliefs and stuff like that?
The world history? Because
Or like
I
the
feel
world religions?
I do. I actually really love when you go back and contextually look at a civilization and you can see why they had the beliefs that they did.
100%.
I think is really fascinating.
The historical context is the most important thing when you're looking at like anything, especially the Bible. And like that's something that I think a lot of Christians and non-Christians alike mistake is the historical context. Like, things that were said in the Old Testament were said for a very like distinct like cultural reason, and they don't necessarily apply today. And that's something you have to like come to terms with. Like, I consider myself Christian, and I like, there's so much shit that is like, you know, we look at today and you're like, no, that stuff's not okay. And it's like, yeah, it's true, that stuff's not okay. And I don't think it applies in today's society.
Yeah. It's like, dude, there was stuff people said in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't think is okay.
Exactly. like you got to understand that things like change.
We can't even say the R word anymore.
Which one's that?
That's what I got from
Go
that.
ahead, say it.
No, dude.
Come on, pussy.
Elise will.
Let me say it.
What? Is this a gotcha podcast?
Yes, it is.
A 45-minute setup gotcha podcast?
I've been trying to fucking gotcha James and Steve forever, dude. I'm like, what's the word? Say it. Tell me what it is. You won't. I just don't know what you're talking about.
Please
It'll
say
never
it so
work.
I understand. I just don't know.
It'll never work. One of these days.
I guess
So what
in
else have you been up to,
conclusion-
Elise?
Me? Because I guess in conclusion, if you got an illustrated Bible, that's dope, man. That's great.
I had one that
Yeah.
was like a what's it called? A chronological Bible. So it like, because like everything's all out of order and stuff. So it took things and told them in parallel ways, so that like you knew kind of like a timeline of like things that happened, and like bouncing back and forth between different books and stuff. And it was cool.
I like
I
that
didn't really
better.
read much of it because
Right.
it was still very like dense.
Think about the royalty checks that the guys that wrote that fucking thing got.
The Bible.
Yeah, who wrote the Bible, dude? They're fucking rich.
Imagine being related to some, like one of the people that wrote the Bible, if you could even go back that far.
Get
and,
the
like,
royalties.
Trace your.
Get the royalties.
Yeah, I think I'm related to Luke.
You know, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Chad.
Marcus, Geronimo, Echo Bravo.
Geronimo, dude. You know, they actually scrapped Geronimo's section of the Bible. I don't know why. His views were just way too ahead of his time.
Yeah, they had to do it. There was like AI and stuff in it.
A lot of 80s slang.
A lot of 80s
Kib.
slang.
What have I been doing?
Yeah.
Not a whole lot. I'm a pretty boring person, and I work a lot. Like, I work a lot in my professional day job, and then I try to work a lot in my free time. And so I'm pretty boring.
But that's not boring
person.
because what you do is not boring. You know what I mean? Like, it might feel that way, and I think we all kind of relate to it in some ways in whatever version of the entertainment industry we're in, because you just do it so much that that's your normal, so that your normal must be boring to everyone else. This is what I do all day, so it must be boring, but it's really not. You know what I mean? Like, to people who are not in the entertainment industry and are interested in it, like, it's so fucking cool. And, like, it's not like a dick sucky thing. I just mean, like, it's really not boring. Like, making things for people to consume content-wise is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, when you get in the rut of doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, it just feels monotonous to some degree.
Doing it remotely too, and also trying to, you know, you have certain you know, you guys know, it's like if you have a podcast that you've sold, and it's like that's, you know, becomes kind of routine. Not this I'm not referring to this podcast.
You're talking
This
about?
podcast
Are you
is
talking about
wonderful.
this
Talking about-
podcast?
No.
another one?
Like one of your other.
One of our
One of
other
your other
podcasts.
podcasts.
Okay.
This is a
Right.
delight. This is a
Right.
delightful time. I'm having a ball.
God bless you.
Dude, Kib
The
and
one
I.
thing I've been. Oh, go please.
No, we want Elise to.
She's hitting
No,
her
please,
vape, so
go
I'll
ahead.
go ahead and talk. Ever since Steve stopped doing the podcast, fucking dumbass, rest in peace. He's
Did
dead.
he?
Yeah, he stopped doing the podcast.
He's doing Twitch full time now.
Yeah, he's killing it on
Really?
Twitch.
He has like 10,000, 15,000 viewers every time he goes live.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're fucking with me. I don't know.
No,
No,
for real,
100% the most truthful
Yeah.
thing. Steve is killing it on Twitch.
I still don't
and,
know.
No, for real.
No,
for real.
yeah, for real. You can check. You
100%.
can cross-reference us on this.
He's making $100,000 a month now. Not that much, but
No, but I was just gonna say, like, ever since kind of Kib and I took the reins and continue doing it on our own, we've had this like newfound, refreshing kind of motivation
love
with
for
it, and admiration and respect for each other,
and love
and we're
for
in
it.
love with, and we're in love.
Yeah, it has been. It's been really cool because it's not like it's better without him or anything. It's just James and I have always been on the same page for wanting to do the same things with it, and approaching it the same way. So we're just excited to be able to do it that way. And it kind of feels, I don't know. It's not that it's always been a podcast. And we talked about this recently. We've never really felt like we're podcasters, but we are. But now for some reason, more than ever, it feels like a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
I think it was just our epiphany last
nice.
week.
That could be exactly
We literally had an
it, dude.
epiphany
Just
on the
perspective.
podcast last week where we were like,
The dumbest epiphany.
the dumbest, because like on episode 181 of a podcast, we were like, dude, we just realized that we're podcasters. We're podcast hosts. Guys, we have a podcast now. You should check it out.
Please listen to the podcast.
I feel like when you're a content creator and you're doing other content, starting a podcast used to be the tangential thing that you did.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, well, we make all this other stuff. We can also do a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? But then eventually sometimes I guess the podcast becomes the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I would love if you guys, because I think you're very interesting to listen to. And if you guys did I don't know if you have any other podcasts on the horizon, a second podcast, but if you did a podcast where you delve deep into some, specific subject, I think you'd kill it.
Dude, Kip and I start another podcast, just the two of us again. And it's just the same exact setup, but it's called something different.
I think
think
that
you
could be
could-
on the horizon for this podcast too. Like to still have the general conversation
Yeah.
about our lives and randomness and stuff like that. But adding something like that could be great because it also gives the guest, something to grab onto and with the whole time they're on it,
I don't know.
No.
I mean, I
But
think
who knows?
if you guys were like, we're going to do a deep dive music podcast in each episode. There's a podcast that I really like. Fuck, what's it called? But it dives into film scores.
Ooh,
Cool.
that's super
But like,
cool.
Lord of the Rings,
Oh.
HP, Danny
HP.
Elfman. And it's like pretty research, but each episode is like, let's take a look back at, the origins and process of this film score. And man, it's real beautiful.
That's
and I
really cool.
could see you fellas doing something like that.
Totally. I think we haven't done that because we always thought making something niche was bad in a way.
Yeah.
But I think we're also learning that that's not the case. Like that people do want to grab onto something specific. And there's always going to be random conversation in a podcast like that too. But, being specific is just, it adds something. It adds a very, substantial topic to have throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey guys, I'm gonna go pee.
You're going to pee?
Again. So 1 second, and then we will take some callers. Let me stop you right there because we have another sponsor. That's right, another sponsor. And it's Honey, one of our OG sponsors that's been with us since day one almost. We love Honey. It's one of the easiest online extensions that you can use to just help you save money and find discounts any way that you can. Everybody shops online, now more than ever, and we've all seen that promo code taunt us at checkout. But thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online, and they range from various topics, tech products, gaming products, fashion, clothes, food delivery, like honestly, anything that you can order online just about, Honey can find you coupons for it. Not too long ago, actually just like a few days ago, I ordered some new hue lights off of Amazon, and boom, Honey hooked me up with those discounts. So check this out. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button drops down, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site. And if Honey finds a working coupon code, then they apply it automatically, and it's amazing. You just watch the prices drop. And at this point, it's really no secret that Honey is so amazing. They've found there are over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings, which is just incredible to even think about. It's literally free discounts, basically. It's completely free. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free and installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting our podcast, Beyond the Pine. So you can get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/beyond. That's joinhoney.com/beyond. Now back to the podcast.
Can we talk about COVID quarantine bladder here?
God, yes.
Because this is something James expressed to me, which I haven't even thought about. And I think it's happening and no one's saying it, is that because everyone's home, and you're never in a situation where you're like, I gotta wait an extra 10 minutes to go to the bathroom. You can go whenever you want. Like everyone's bladder is evolving.
It's
That's
becoming
fucking
better,
crazy.
probably.
I mean,
No, I
think
think it's
of
probably becoming worse.
Yeah, because then you don't
Like
have
worse
the,
as in you got to pee more.
No,
Yeah, you
worse
gotta
as
pee
in
more.
you can't, or you're losing the ability to hold your pee longer because you're
But you're not really
always
supposed
readily
to hold your pee.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
Remember that woman that held her wee for a wee?
Her
Died?
wee.
She
No, that
did
was a real
die.
thing.
She held her wee.
How
It was
long
a
she
real
hold
thing.
it?
I don't remember,
Wait,
but
she-
there's this. I think a New York radio station was doing a contest. It was like hold your Wii for a Wii to win a Nintendo Wii.
Oh my
And
god!
she did it. She died.
That's
I don't know if it was like
crazy.
sepsis or something, but
I don't know if it was
like
sexist
horrible.
or.
yeah, that Wii.
I mean, was the radio station held accountable in any way?
I don't recall. I'm surprised no one's made a doc about it, like the McDonald's
Yeah.
coffee. You
Yeah,
guys could
let's
that.
do a. Oh my God, we'll do like a
I
Netflix
was-
series.
Are you talking about the Tim Hortons McDonald's situation?
Yeah.
I already dove into it, and apparently, the company that owns the beans has always, or for a long time, sold to McDonald's as well. But now Tim Hortons isn't owned by the same company anymore, and they have the same distributor, but now they water the coffee down. I had Tim Hortons this year, and
Is it not
was
good?
not the same. It was not the same. It's still like really great coffee, but it literally just
Yeah.
like it's missing that as if it used to have MSG and it now no longer does. Like now it's like
That's a damn shame.
it's a goddamn shame because it was the best coffee in the world, and I'm pissed.
James wouldn't know.
Sorry, James. Like there's nothing
Sorry,
like
James.
like fucking Starbucks. It's burnt. It's burnt and it's fine, but it's burnt. Fucking
It's burnt is
Dunkin',
fine.
dude.
That's fine. I'll take it.
Dunkin' Donuts, more like fucking sunken donuts, dude.
Dude,
No
Dunkin'
good.
Donuts is just so sweet.
So
Like,
sweet. Tim Hortons
everything
coffee
there.
was the best coffee
Oh, yeah.
you could get at a chain.
I love the Tim Hortons hot chocolate because by the time you got to the bottom of that bad boy, it was just sludge.
Yeah.
Slurp it
Yeah.
down that chocolatey sludge.
Just tar
It's
pit.
such a shame. But at least they still have the fucking what is it? The Chipotle chicken wrap.
Oh,
That shit's fire. That shit's fire.
Well,
Ding, ding, ding. Do you hear that, James?
yeah.
Do you hear that?
I think I
I'm
do
hearing
hear that.
something.
Are we getting a caller? I
think
think
we're
we
getting a
are getting a caller.
caller.
At least we have callers.
So we're gonna have to accept a stream here.
So, yeah, I'm gonna stream or
James,
share
we're
my
calling
screen,
it
and
in,
you're
dude.
gonna
Like a
you're gonna
fucking
take
hair
it.
here. I'm gonna rip it out. I'm gonna rip this hair out. We're back.
gotta look good for the camera.
You know what I mean?
Okay, let me pull this shit up.
Pull that shit up, James. We've got big callers from you guys this week. Thank you guys for calling in, by the way. You know, we love this segment. And I'm hearing a caller.
Okay.
Who could this be?
Yo, what's up, Kib and James? My name is Adam, coming at you guys from the East Coast. Shout out North Carolina.
What's up, Adam?
Love what you guys do.
No ho.
I've loved it for years. Everything to do with your YouTube channel, podcast, music. It's all absolute bangers. But my question, if this is not too late getting it in, would be for Elise. Just curious, what
It is actually too late, unfortunately.
It's too late, unfortunately, for you, sir.
Sorry there, pal. Just kidding.
It's not our fault.
What happened?
was your initial reaction, or how did you initially see the Sugar Pine Boys when they first signed on with Rooster Teeth and moved into the office? Like, what did you think of them
We kinda talked
initially,
about
and then
that.
how did it change
That's funny.
over the years?
Talked about that a little, but we didn't
but yeah,
talk about
thanks,
like.
guys. Keep up
Can
the
you
good
not
work.
cut off our caller, please,
Peace.
Elise?
Sorry,
Sorry
Later,
about
Johnny.
that, caller.
Thank
sorry,
you,
Johnny. He kept pausing a little bit, and I didn't know if he was done or not.
He goes,
But that is a wonderful question, and we talked a little bit about when you first came to work in our office, but not when you first joined Rooster Teeth.
right, because we were in the Van Nuys office for like a year,
Yeah,
I think.
At first, I thought, okay, I'm the golden goose of this company. Who?
Right.
Right, you are, of
Say
course.
that laughing.
How dare they?
Yeah.
Who are these young whippersnappers coming in taking this title? No,
These freaks.
I think like it's a thing where I was like, oh, okay. I'm not somebody that watches YouTube. I don't really watch a lot of YouTube. I don't
feel
know
you.
who anybody is on YouTube, and that's not because I feel like I'm above YouTube. I I have like the entertainment sensibilities of a 65-year-old.
Right.
And so I just still watch a lot of really traditional stuff.
Totally, same.
And so like I really didn't know you guys, and because I just don't really know many people across that sphere. But then like seeing the kind of comedy you guys did, it was so frenetic and so I like silly stuff a lot.
Elise
way into
loves
that.
silly shit.
Yeah.
Elise
I like
loves
silly
silly
shit.
shit. That, and
Elise
that I
loves
know.
silly string, dude.
Dude, she can't get enough of silly string.
You know, when Benjamin Button, he gets up on that stage and he's doing his little jig, and I go, "You silly little fucker,
You silly little
old-
goose.
old
You silly
are
little
baby?"
ugly little piece of shit. You're fucking so silly.
But I was skeptical. I was like, what is there beyond the pine? I
Right.
guess some would say.
Right.
And honestly, when I saw you guys were really sweet and invited us to the wood screening that you did, I think at not the Landmark, the art
at the Arrow. The Arrow.
Arrow.
Theater.
Arrow, yeah.
and it was just so impressive. It was so impressive.
Thank
and
you.
like I know like James and I at least like walked away being like, man, the fact that you guys did that, especially in the time constraint that you did.
3 days, baby.
3 days. It's like unheard of, and it was so
It
impressive.
is unheard of, and it
And,
shouldn't be the standard. It's extremely difficult and hindering to the process. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be what everyone's like
James
trying
did have
to
a
do.
chance concert to go to.
I had prior engagements.
James did have a chance concert
I
to go
did
to,
have a
so-
chance concert to go to, and I did go to that concert, and that was a great concert.
And it hurt the film.
I understand.
Okay.
But then I was like, okay, there's definitely like more depth and dimension to you all than just being comedy centric.
And there was an interesting time where I think we were still like the line was very blurred. Like we kind of not only blurred the line for the videos, but we kind of lived in it way more so than when we actually moved to the Rooster Teeth office. You know what I mean? Like we were very much in it, like being the characters in our
Yeah.
real life with each other, to just constantly be making each other laugh. And then we just kind of grew out of that. But that I could totally see why you'd be like, okay, this is fucking, what is this?
Yeah.
And then you see the woods and you're like, okay, so there's more to these, there's more substance to these humans than what they present, you know?
And honestly, I think the kind of absurdist stream of consciousness and twisting callback and reference like comedy that you guys do is not easy. It's not like I think there are probably people that see it and go, "Oh, they're just saying whatever comes to their minds." And I know that's not the case, because I know that have a camera in your face and say something that's going to be funny and weird and out. It's not easy. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
that it is an interesting thing because the final product looks like it's randomness. Like,
Yeah.
you know, people say word association all the time, but it's like it's not just a random word with word association. It's such quick thinking, and I'm trying to like suck our own dicks about it. It's just that's literally how I've always felt about it, and why I appreciate comedy, because I overanalyze comedy. I love to. I'm the guy who likes to, after we all laugh about a joke, then explain why I thought that joke was funny, because
You
to
do
me,
that.
it's so funny. I do that, and I love that. Like,
I think about comedy a lot, and I have like certain comedic heroes that I love, whether they've done a memoir or they just talk about comedy. I love hearing those people talk about
who are
comedy.
your heroes?
Steve Martin is like definitely one
yeah.
of my like big
Legend.
comedy heroes. And in concert with that, like Martin Short, I really love to his memoir. And like Amy Poehler, of course. Madeline Kahn, I thought was really, really great. I do like a lot of these kind of older, last generation people.
I mean, those
there's
are
some,
legends. Those
they're
are
legends.
legendary
Yeah.
people. Like
Yeah.
the movies they made are so funny. I think I recently just watched a Martin Short film. It might not be fucking Martin Short, but it's one of those two. Fuck it, I don't remember. It was about an airplane. Might have been called Airplane.
Was it Airplane?
was it
That's
Airplane?
Leslie.
Leslie Neal. Oh, Leslie Nielsen is like one of my
Right.
heroes. I love it.
Yeah,
I
that's
like,
the
I mean,
like,
R.I.P.
the definition of like
Absurd.
absurd, silly, like self-aware, just nonsense, but it's satirical too. So it has a purpose, like what we were talking about
Right.
before, where like you have all the shit, but then it has to have like its underlying purpose. Yeah, I mean, all that shit's amazing. Like I grew up, you know, all the National Lampoon movies. Like I loved Chevy
Me
Chase,
too.
despite like
love Chevy Chase.
you know, I guess the fact that Chevy Chase is a piece of shit. I think like Chevy Chase, I think is one of the funniest people, especially like 80s, 90s like Chevy
Oh, God,
Chase,
yeah.
where he's just like this kind of like a little bit egotistical, like kind of straight faced, but like still like just an idiot, like bumbling,
Not self-aware at
not
all.
self-aware
You know
at
what I
all.
mean?
That's
Yeah.
funny because that's like the other side of it. Is like you have
Exactly.
comedians like Steve Martin and stuff who are very self-aware with their comedy, but then you have Chevy Chase who has like a
present-
similar angle, but then he like takes away that self-awareness, which comes off more egotistical or like douchey, but it's like still so amazing. Like
I also think that's what we did too, and why there was such a blurred line for so long is because we presented everything, the characters and what we did in the video as not self-aware, and then added some self-awareness to the edit and the narration and things like that.
Yeah. And it's
You
so
know?
hard when you're playing a character, but your character's name is Kib
Yeah.
and shares all these attributes.
Yeah, what a dumb
Not
name.
attributes, but like
Such a
you know, you're like it's tough to say like, well, it is a character. It's not really who
Yeah.
I am and go home to be.
Yeah, I struggled with that for a long time too, because like once people like why we stopped blurring the line, not or why I kind of stepped away from the blurred line and stopped being as like, you know, not self-aware, was because I was struggling with that, and I was like, you know, people don't. They think this is who I actually am. They have no idea who I am. And I was like, come on, guys, this is a fucking video. Do you not understand what this is? Like, so I just felt weird about it. And looking back, like, I wish that didn't happen, but I'm glad just kind of stopped at some point, you know?
And that's just growth. That's just natural progression
Yeah.
of like whatever thing you create. You can't do the same thing forever, especially if it like affects your life in any way.
Yeah, you grow out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we have another caller.
I think we're hearing the call. Ding, 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 ding.
Really excited. This next one is a girl.
That's awesome.
Do you think maybe she's single?
James?
Can you guys hear it still?
Yeah.
Hey, James and
Where's
Kib
no one?
and
There we go.
Elise. My name is Olivia, and I'm a human female who watches and listens to your podcast,
Dope.
Wow.
depending on what's most convenient for me. I'm recording this on my phone because my roommate borrowed my microphone about 7 months ago and never gave it back.
Ugh.
So sorry about the audio quality
bitch.
there. You can thank my roommate for that.
Goddamn roommate.
So my question is, I'm very happy in the relationship that I am in and have been for the last 3, almost 4 years now. But sometimes I think about this message that I received on a dating site right before entering this relationship, and I wonder if I made the right choice. I wonder if I missed the one, as you would say. So I've attached the message, the message, so that you can read it and give me your opinion. Thank you so much, and I really enjoy the show.
Amazing. I do have the message.
You have the message?
I have the message.
Wow.
So let me stop sharing this. And
We're going to
start
share the
sharing that.
message. Let's share that message. Watching stream now? All right, we got the message. Elise, why don't you
So
read
the-
this for us?
Yeah, this first message, the blue one, I'm guessing is Olivia.
Olivia,
And then
got
the
it.
gray one is the response.
Okay. I'll be the
So what-
response.
So what does it mean to be a Montana boy through and through? How different are you from Cali boys?
Well, first of all, we don't squat to piss. And we work our asses off. We get dirty, we fight, we drink. We're the last of a dying breed.
Wow.
That was it?
I'll have the first commentary here. I think that you asked, did you miss out on the one? And I think the answer is clear by this. I mean, this person obviously carries with them not only the strength and perseverance,
But the weaknesses.
but also the weaknesses and the idiocracy
Okay,
of
rude.
what's
Rude, but
what's
yeah.
wrong with masculinity, toxic masculinity. And I think that although I agree with it, and I think yes, you did miss out on the one.
He does. He does think that.
That's actually what I think. So yes, I do think that you missed out on the one that this person.
does.
I mean, this person just seems like they got their shit together. I mean, first of all, we don't squat to piss. I
Well-
squat to piss. Kib squats to piss.
Yeah. You
It's
got
just
your
what
information
happens
all wrong.
in California.
It's the gravity.
It's the gravity. It's the climate. The warmer climate, the more temperate climate, it makes you want to sit down and piss because you're bogged down
Yeah, I
with
just get
all
so
the,
horny
the
that I
heat.
gotta squat to
Yeah.
piss.
We get dirty, we fight, we drink. We're the last of a dying breed. Well, I just realized there's a typo in that, so actually he's a fucking dumbass idiot.
Let me see, it's
How do you
fine,
not
man.
spell correctly?
Which word did he? is it?
Were.
Wow.
Yeah, there's
Unbelievable.
supposed to be
That
an
almost threw me
apostrophe
off.
there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? We are. So, Elise, what do you think? Did she miss out on a dying cow breed?
Well, first, my attention is first drawn to the icon image there, which
Camouflage.
camouflage, some professional photography, maybe taken in a Sears portrait studio.
Sorry
which
that
leads
I
me to-
stopped sharing it.
Oh no, that's fine. Just which leads me to believe that maybe there's more pomp than we are led to believe by his sort of carefree salt of the earth attitude here. This
Right.
working man's like I'm seeing maybe that there's a bit more vanity than he would lead us to believe. So
Right,
it's
he's reading through
kind
the
of like.
lines.
Yeah, I think there's a message here just to not believe every message that some Montana boy sends you, because we've all been there.
We've all been
Yeah,
to Montana.
we've all been talking to. We've all been to Montana because we've all been there. Yeah, we've all been to
Yeah,
Montana.
we've all been there.
Yeah, we've all been messaging Montana boys on our off time, and kind
Yeah.
of just seeing what happens, Mm-hmm. And
is it gonna take off? Am I gonna?
is he gonna pay for my
Is he gonna
bills
Is he gonna send me some
No.
money? I don't know.
or what? What the fuck is this?
Well, I'll say this about that. My first question, and I mean no disrespect by this. There's no V in by. Is I'm curious if this was satire. The question if this was the right guy for you, only because I only see bad in this guy. I get no good
I
vibes
think-
from him.
I think if you want, I can actually answer that because I feel like just from this call, I feel like I really know Olivia, and I
Right.
think yes.
Okay. Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is no. I'm saying that kind of the exact. Hang on, Olivia. Hold on. Olivia, here's the thing. If you're from, you know what I mean. If you like Montana boys and you like that type of person, doesn't mean he's a bad guy. I know I said that,
Right.
but like I come from small town Canada, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of like what we call hicks
Yeah,
down
get
there,
to
and
the
that
point.
word probably will be canceled. I'm getting to the
Yeah,
point.
get to the point.
I'm getting to the point. And basically people marry and be with and are attracted to people of similar values and similar personalities. So if you're, aligned with that kind of personality, then maybe you missed out on the one. But, based on how you spoke to us, it seems like this isn't the guy for you. This isn't your,
There's another way to look at this, though, whereas the climate crisis,
Oh.
Montana, a source of fresh groundwater
right.
here, natural lakes.
Right.
Olivia,
Think about
think
the
about
planet.
it.
Think
Yeah.
about it. What
Stop
you
thinking
might
about
be
yourself.
future-proofing.
Stop being so
think about the
selfish,
planet.
Olivia.
Like cut down on your footprint.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
honestly,
he's
that's-
doing it.
He's doing it clearly. He's getting down and
Clearly.
dirty.
And he's wearing
for the
he's wearing a
environment.
camo jacket. He probably hunts. You know what I mean? Not supporting those fucking meat industries, dude. He's probably getting his own meat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he's got a big, chunk of land. You
Yeah.
thought I was going to say something else, but I was saying a
Big-
big chunk
I
of
did.
land.
Big
Because you
chode.
went from meat to a big chunk
That
of land.
when
right.
these cities and metropolitan areas collapse because of food shortages and
Right.
what the water crisis that's
And
impending,
population
maybe
control.
population control, maybe you got a little space in Montana you can head out to.
But not
And
anymore.
I bet you his chunk of land is 9-10 inches. If you know what I'm saying.
Minimum. Minimum.
Dude. No, Olivia, my real answer is I don't think so. No.
Yeah, no, Olivia, you're happy.
Yeah, no, I think easily. Yeah, you're happy now, and we're happy that you're happy,
And you're happy, Olivia. We love you. Thank
and
you
you're
for calling
happy,
in, Olivia.
and you're happy,
And you're happy.
and you don't have to tell us maybe you're not happy because we're just gonna think that you're happy.
Leave it at that.
Oh, did you think that I was done? Well, I'm not, because we have one more sponsor. It's DoorDash. Did you forget that one thing at the store? Well, now you can get snacks, drinks, and household essentials in 30 minutes with DoorDash. We've all been there. We've all gone to the store and forgot one or two things that was on our list, or maybe we forgot to put on our list. Now, instead of having to go all the way back to the store for a couple things or wait till the next time you go to the store, you can just order those essential items from DoorDash. DoorDash connects you with the restaurants that you love right now and right to your door. And now you can get the grocery essentials you need with DoorDash too. Get drinks, snacks, and other household items delivered in under an hour. Ordering is easy. Open the DoorDash app, choose what you want from where you want, and your items will be left safely outside your door using the contactless delivery drop-off setting. With over 3,000 partners in the US, Canada, Puerto Rico, and now Australia, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, and Cheesecake Factory. So guys, listen up. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code PINE2021. And if you're an Australian listener, use the code PINEAUS. That's 25% off up to a $10 value and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code PINE2021 in the US and PINEAUS in Australia. Don't forget, that's Pine 2021, or if you're in Australia, Pine AUS, for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Thank you so much, DoorDash, for sponsoring this episode. Now let's get back to those callers.
Trouble.
And we've got our next caller. Ding, 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 ding.
Hey guys, Diego from California here. I've been a big fan of Sugar Pine 7 since before Sugar Pine 7, since the SourceFed days. And I've essentially grown up with your guys' content.
Wow.
When you guys started, I was a freshman in high school, and I'm going to be
man.
graduating in a few months. So you've been a big influence in my life, from my sense of humor to my love for film. Recently, I've even begun writing my own short film, and it's actually coming along pretty great.
Let's go.
All this
Hell
to
yeah.
say, I love you guys. Really appreciate all the work you've put out. But since I'm in this kind of creative momentum right now, I was actually wondering, what are some of the films or filmmakers that are the biggest inspiration to you guys? Much love.
Nice. That is an absolutely awesome question for me.
That's a
I
beautiful
love that question, talking about that question.
James loves
Elise,
that
why don't
question.
you answer?
No, you talk about it, please. Please.
Some of Elise's biggest inspirations.
Here, we'll speak
Carrot
for
Top.
Elise.
Yeah,
Carrot-
we'll speak first.
Tony
Carrot
Hawk.
Top, Tony Hawk. Dude, Tony Hawk, Carrot Hawk,
Bald Eagles,
Bald Eagles, Centrifugal Force.
Painted Nails, Brownies.
Who is it? Who is it? Who are these influences?
They're just
Wow,
influences.
so many.
James,
Brownies.
who are your actual influences?
Yeah.
My actual influences. The cool thing about influences is that there's so many different levels of, what influences you and at what point in your life those things influence you. You know what I mean? Like overall, I think I actually have a list because I'm like that. I like keeping lists of like my favorite things and stuff like that on my phone
that
just so
too.
I know them. Let me see. Do I have? Oh yeah. Well, here's 3 right here. Stan Lee. Amazing. I think just like the world building of like Marvel Comics and things like that, and Stan Lee being so pivotal in that, obviously, like
God bless
just
him.
building those beloved characters.
Bless him.
For film, Martin Scorsese, he's my favorite director for sure. He can tell so many different kinds of stories and present them in such different ways. Like he has, so many directors have like a very distinct style, and he does too, but he also covers a lot of ground as far as like the subject matter that he puts in his films and stuff like that. Like I just watched Taxi Driver a few nights ago, and I hadn't seen Taxi Driver since high school, and that's late 70s, and that movie's fucking unreal. Like have you guys seen Taxi Driver?
I don't know.
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, watch it. It's fucking crazy.
I don't think I will.
Even like more recently, like The Irishman,
I love the Irish.
which like if you look at, some of the movies that Martin Scorsese's most known for, Goodfellas, Casino, like those
Got it.
very like classic gangster movies that kind of
Right.
glorify violence in a way, and then you look at The Irishman and you think, oh, is this just like Goodfellas, the same thing? But it's not. It like totally
Just like Goodfellas.
flips it on its ear, and you're looking at it from more of a lens of like how destructive like that lifestyle is, and it's like a much more mature look at crime and stuff like that, because
It's so
he's
destructive.
later in his life, and so he's able to look back and like do that stuff. Another one of my big heroes, honestly, maybe these are just my heroes, not necessarily my inspirations. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm a huge Arnold fan. Like, I think he's so
Governor, you know what I mean?
yeah. He's so relevant and important as like an actor in the 80s and 90s. Like, some of my favorite movies, are his movies: Terminator 2, fucking
Terminator
Total
3.
Recall, Terminator 3, Terminator 4. No, just the first two. I think he's like the definition of the American dream. Like, coming here as I think he was like 18 when he came here.
Young, dumb, and full of cum.
Full cum. He was. He came here, didn't know, like, he didn't speak English. He literally learned English, I believe, when they were making Pumping Iron, the documentary, back in I think it was like the late 70s, early 80s. And then he just blew up from there, and he loves America for that reason. The opportunities, like, in a perfect world, what the American dream stands for is an awesome thing, but it's been corrupted and perverted over the years and taken advantage of.
Super perverted.
From the inside, like, not allowing those opportunities for people who are coming to this country, like what it was built on. You know what I mean? I'm not like, I realize I just said, it's been corrupted and taken advantage of. That makes it seem like I'm talking about immigrants, but I'm not. I'm talking about, like, from the inside.
James fucking hates immigrants, dude.
From the inside, like, those moral values not necessarily being as true as they were when they first were, like, conceived. You know what I mean? And I really respect him also, like, currently, as just like a positive voice in the world, and talking about certain topics and things like that. And he obviously is a Republican, but he is one of the Republicans that are good and doesn't just go along with, like, Trump. And
Let's
I
talk
think that's
politics.
good. Let's talk politics.
I am
God,
a
I
member
fucking
of
hate
the,
those right-wing liberal cucks, dude.
I'm a member of the Republican Party. It's, Canadians for American Republicans. And so I take offense to all this. No, did you see? I don't remember if it was after the election or before the election or around the. I can't believe I'm saying this, but insurgency that happened.
The insurrection.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger, he posted this video where he spoke about something that he had never actually publicly divulged, which was that his father was either a soldier in the Nazi party or he was a sympathizer. And so, post-war, living in Nazi-occupied Austria, his father, like, was someone who came in on the wrong side of history. And that led to him being abusive and an alcoholic and all these things.
I think I saw that.
So I think, like, in that, probably America meant a lot to him too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those are just some. I could probably talk for hours about things.
My two favorite directors, I would say, that inspired me when I shoot things and think about film and stuff like that, would be Scorsese and Wes Anderson. You know what I mean? Wes Anderson's style primarily. I love how he frames things. I love the color choices he uses. I love the tone. Got a Wes Anderson book right there?
I got a little bookshelf, Wes Anderson bookshelf.
Wait a
where I
minute,
have,
is
like,
that also from our office?
No. I have I don't just take
Yep.
everything, loot the sugar pile.
No, 100%. I think we had that
No,
Wes Anderson book.
No,
it was
I have
Steve's.
I have just a bunch of Wes Anderson scripts.
Oh, that's
the
awesome.
collected
That's
scripts
dope.
that they released, and then of course
Wow.
like that book, and I have and then just like another book that's like that breaks down Wes Anderson filmmaking and what he this genre he's created and stuff.
Yeah, I love
so
it.
I'm
That's
with you,
what's
Kip.
so cool.
I'm with you.
He really has, like, fucking just come inside and held the fries of the film industry. Like, he just paints such a cool picture and such a cool vibe. I mean, also Quentin Tarantino. Just like you can't not think about Quentin when you think about even shots and tone and things like that too. Like, he's so good. Those are my favorite three directors, I think.
Hell yeah.
it's weird because I don't really see myself as being a cinephile in any way, but I do have directors that I admire, and like obviously you mentioned Wes Anderson is a big one. What's Olivia Wilde? I think is like somebody that's new to directing and probably got a lot of or I mean maybe I'm over assuming here, but I feel like maybe for her as a woman coming from acting, she was probably not taken seriously maybe. But she, man, I don't know if you guys saw God damn, what's that movie she made?
I can find it right now. Olivia Wilde. What color?
Oh, Booksmart. I don't know if either of you saw Booksmart.
Oh, she directed Booksmart? I did not see that yet.
Yeah.
But, wow. That's crazy.
And, yeah, and that movie's so stylized. It's just so, original feeling in the story that it tells and the way the characters exist and just the visuals in it. And I was like so impressed just thinking that this is probably somebody that maybe had to, she had the foot in with acting, of course, but maybe people just looked at her as an actress and said, well, you can't do this.
It's tough too because she's like a pretty big actress. Like she's fantastic. So you see them being so good at one thing and then it's like, oh, you're going to try your hand at this now. And then add, being a female in the industry too, like get scoffed at in that kind of way too. So it's probably really hard for her. But like, I'm sure that movie's great. You know what I mean? If you're even mentioning it, like, so like,
that movie, was that 2 years ago that came out? I remember it was like, like a what's it called? A hidden gem.
Wow.
Like when it came out and it,
good for her.
It's on my list. I definitely want to watch that. Another, like, if we're talking about like female filmmakers, Greta Gerwig, obviously, is fucking incredible. Like she's, I think, one of the biggest forces in like newer directors that are coming out. I haven't seen Little Women, but I watched Lady Bird for the first time a few months ago. Fuck, it's so good. And that's like one of my favorite things with filmmaking is nostalgia and like conveying nostalgia in a way where even if you didn't like grow up in that area or that decade, you can still feel that
like you did.
Nostalgia.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like one of my favorite movies is called This Is England, and it's about like it takes place.
Amazing,
dude.
Yeah.
If you have you seen that?
Years ago.
Oh god, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, it takes place in the early '80s in a small northern English town, and like I got no business relating to any of that, but like it just
James was talking like this afterwards.
wasn't me.
Oh, governor.
Really brings me back, governor.
I was there. But just stuff like that. Another one that just popped into my head, the Safdie brothers, for me. Like huge, like more like modern inspiration. Good Time is one of my favorite movies. Uncut Gems is like incredible. Like that style, it's super gritty crime, like the tension that's built up. Basically it's like anxiety filmmaking where you just ramp up the story and the stakes, and like your heroes or your protagonists are not good people, but you're kind of like tricked into sympathizing with them as you're going on this journey with them. And then every second things just get worse and worse and worse. And it's just like my girlfriend, you guys both know her, Lauren. Lauren can even finish like either of those movies because of the anxiety.
It's just too much.
And I'm there like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, give it to me. Have you guys seen that skateboarding film that Jonah
Mid-90s?
Hill?
Blank Check.
Mid-90s? Blank Check.
Oh,
Mid-90s, dude.
No, I haven't seen mid-90s.
It's
I've been meaning
really
to.
good. I really do, because like that's like what I grew up in, like small town skateboarding community, hooligans, the older skater kids who did drugs and like you looked up to, and like that movie like resonated for me because I was like, damn, this is like exactly like the shit I grew up in. And I think he did a fantastic job with that too. So I'm excited to see what more he can do directing wise. And I don't know what else he's directed, but
he just made an Instagram post about how he is finally like about to announce his next film that he wrote and is gonna direct.
Let's go.
Yeah. So my thing with mid-90s is I think it was like, I love the style of it, and I think it was great for like a first feature, and that sounds so pretentious even saying that. But I think like it didn't wow me. Maybe it's because I didn't come up in that, but
it wowed me
it just
because they captured exactly that era and that scene so accurately.
Yeah.
That it was like, oh fuck, it was like the most nostalgic thing, and adding the heartfelt story into it. It was like special. I think if you went through it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also, as I was watching it, I was like, this honestly just feels like the American mid '90s like LA version of This Is England. Like I was getting those heavy vibes, and then I looked it up, and his number one inspiration for the movie is This Is England.
Yeah, no
Which
doubt.
is so funny.
I don't know if you get this, Kib, or you had this experience, but for me, like a kid growing up in Canada, your outlet as to what the adolescent experience is American movies. And so honestly too, like, not to make this about myself,
No,
but like,
do it.
Make it about yourself.
When I was writing my book too, I was thinking about the Halloweens that I would see in movies and TV where, like, you know, kids aren't trick-or-treating in 3 feet of snow. They are not wearing winter coats. They're out in their costumes and doing whatever. So for me, it was also like, oh, I'm, you know, writing what I would have seen. And as a Canadian, I idealized as like, which is usually just the Los Angeles kids experience, which is a whole other weird, like backwards world experience, because I don't think being a kid growing up in LA, like I have to imagine
normal
it's
at all.
there's a lot about it that probably doesn't feel normal. But
Yeah.
It was pretty normal for me. Like, I mean, I grew up in the valley.
you turned out great.
Yeah.
Look at
But
him.
no, for sure. It's like, I mean, especially watching movies, there's like the like stereotypical, like what neighborhoods look like, you know, and then you realize like that a lot of them were shot in like neighborhoods in LA and stuff like that. Like there's this neighborhood over on like Wilshire and like, fuck, I don't even know what the cross street would be, but it's like this neighborhood that I used to walk Vinny in, because when I lived in Koreatown, I didn't want to walk Vinny in Koreatown because of all the human shit that was all over the ground. So I would drive him to this neighborhood. Hold on one second. Hey, Lauren, can you please bring me a glass of water?
That's Lauren.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
He hires her to bring him glasses of water.
And read to him.
Thank you. I love
Read to
you.
him. Yeah.
Sorry, I've just been so thirsty and I didn't want to get up again. For your guys' sake. But what was I saying? But yeah, so I used to walk Vinny in this neighborhood, and I was like,
Human shit.
there were always shoots happening at these houses, and they were like just ideal, like huge, beautiful houses, but they also looked so just like stereotypical movie houses. And I was like, oh, it all makes sense. This is where all those movies were.
Yeah, and I found like my perspective of that was like very much romanticizing what life is, or what life is supposed to be, you know, living in the fucking country in Canada and stuff like that. And you like, it was interesting because like I don't think it negatively affected my look on where I lived and what my town was, but it certainly like, I don't know, I don't know what it did, but it, like you said, Elise, it very much shaped what you thought of was normal. You know what I mean, for the world, and that you're just in Canada and it's fucking snow and like it's just different. Yeah. It's an interesting one.
What
do you think, James?
Another
Was there another caller?
We do have one more caller.
Well, let's bring him in. Let's see what the caller wants. If they want money, I'm not giving it to them.
Boys, Elise, just wanted to ask what your favorite thing to do is when you get fucking out of this realm high. Peace.
Is that Johnny Depp?
Dude,
Yes, I just wanted to
I'm confused, I'm scared, and I need help. Poor guy. I think. I don't know. Right?
That was so funny. What a question. Anyways, we'll see you guys next week. I don't get high anymore, but when I used to get high, I would just fucking be high all the time. I love playing a video game, getting immersed in a video game when I'm high, watching a fucking dope movie or show. Just like, I loved the positives of getting high until more negatives started happening when I would get high. So then I stopped getting high.
Yeah.
For me, it's sleeping.
Hell yeah.
I got good sleep too.
Love to get high and sleep. And also become very, very. I'm not an upper
Paranoid.
person with it. Just become very, very. I don't like get giddy or anything. I just get very reclusive, like quiet. I'm not a fun like person to get high with. So just chill.
I don't really like it. I get that. You know what I mean? Like, I think in high school, I used to get more giddy and stuff like that. But I don't really do it at all anymore. And when I do, which it's been like 8 months maybe, but I think I like watching movies and I like sleeping. And I used to love going on adventures. I used to love that because it would be so fun if you're on the same page with someone. You're not in your head and judging each other or anything. Like James and I went on an adventure one time when we first met. He came over and we fucking got blazed.
Oh man, I love it.
We walked like an hour and a half to go get pizza or something, dude. It was our little White
we were
Castle
just
adventure.
I went over to your house and you just had like a jar of shake. Like this fat ass jar of fucking shake.
Just a jar
and
of
we
shake.
didn't have anything to smoke out of, so we just got like a Coke can and made a little fucking crack pipe out of it.
And that's so bad, dude.
Yeah, it's
the
so bad.
chemicals, dude. We used to do that shit in high school. The apple. Fucking,
the apple. The apple's dope.
A water bottle bong you'd make. Like
Yeah, I remember, dude. So like smoking weed in high school was the most fun.
Yeah.
I remember when
no
my friends and I, you have no responsibilities. You have no real world stresses.
Nothing matters.
So you're just like,
yeah.
like we bought a bong. I think it was maybe junior year. And my friend's older brother bought this bong for us. And we named it JB, James Bong.
James Bong.
Yeah, like James's bong.
Right.
No, like James Bond. And the first time I smoked out of it, I threw up.
Wow.
And it was sick.
That's awesome, dude. I had a fucking like seizure one time. I was at my friend's house and his parents didn't know we were high, and I was walking up the stairs because we were going up to his room to get the fuck away from them because we didn't know they were gonna be home. And everything started to like go black, and I tripped on the stairs and fell on the stairs and was like seizing.
Oh my God.
And it's my friend Shane was like downstairs like eating a fucking sandwich, and he's a tall, curly-haired, very white guy, and he's just like watching me fucking have a seizure on the stairs. And his mom was like, "Shane, what's happening to Clayton? This is not a good time. He's not having a good time right now." He's just
I don't know, Mom. I don't know.
And then I kind of came to and just went, climbed upstairs and fucking passed out. And that's why you don't do drugs, kids.
You don't know the good days when you're in them.
Right. You only know them after you've processed how bad they were, and you can look back with only fond memories.
After the cerebral hemorrhaging has gone down.
Yeah.
Then you know.
Elise,
that you're
thank
home.
you so much for fucking being on here. I'm sorry to interrupt you just then.
No.
There's a noise gate, so sometimes I think people are done talking, and I'll go ahead with something and be like, but thank you. Thank you for coming on here.
I had a wonderful time and was so like such a treasure and a treat to catch up with you both and see how you're doing.
Yeah, honestly.
Same to you.
I always want to see you thriving, and
Likewise.
I hope this is not I hope we don't go another year without catching up.
Fuck no, dude.
No, we won't.
Fuck no.
When
But,
we're able to go nuts, we're gonna go to a fucking bar and get crazy and fucking
Let's hang out, no
get
masks.
a DUI.
Let's go to
I just don't-
Kiv's friend's
Barry.
house.
Come on.
You know, go down the stairs.
Yo,
Let's
when
go
this is
hang out
all
with
over
Shane.
with, we should all have seizures together.
Oh, I'm in.
Respectfully pass.
Okay.
Oh, okay, fine, never mind.
But yeah, maybe if you guys want to come on the Funhouse podcast,
Would love it.
Always down. Always
course.
down. You know? Anytime.
thanks for having me.
Of
Of course, anytime. And yeah, I mean, fucking, you're one of our favorite people.
You're one of our
So-
very great people. Listen, everybody listening, go fucking buy Elise's book.
You don't have to.
It's
You have to
called
buy it.
The House That Is Haunted.
That's
Inside.
close.
It's called It's called Everybody's in the
I'm
House.
sorry, Elise.
Everybody hates Raymond's haunted house.
What is it? Oh, Night at the Haunted House.
Dogs? No.
God
Night at-
damn it.
The
Night at
night
Haunted House.
Halloween House.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. That's
What
good
is it
enough.
actually?
It's a night in Halloween house.
Night in
That's-
Halloween House. It's on Amazon. We'll put
No
in the
one
link in the
has to get
description.
it.
Go fucking buy it. Go buy it. You got a kid? Are you a kid? Probably not. You can't
You
really
know,
understand a lot
I
of
say
the highbrow.
unless you really, really want it, I would say it's been a rough year. Treat yourself.
Treat
You know,
yourself.
To the
unless
book.
you. No.
No, treat yourself to the book. Go
Yeah.
buy the book. Go follow Elise on her socials. Go fucking check out Funhouse. You already know what it is. Go watch this shit. We love you, Elise. Thank you for
Love
being
you
here
guys.
on 182. Come back soon, yeah?
I'll be back.
Legend.
Can't hold me back. I don't know why I said that.
Good evening, and good night.
And if I don't see you,
Then I'm fucking dead.